Next session, California will see a record number of women serving in our state legislature, 49%. That's double the number of women serving than just 7 years ago. Here now to talk about the fight for gender equality and how women are being encouraged to run for office, Susannah Delano, Executive Director of Close the Gap California. Susannah, it's Heather here in San Diego. Hope you can hear me okay.
Hi, Heather. I can. It's great to be here.
I do want to ask you why these numbers are so significant.
Yeah, well, as you said, we've more than doubled the number of women serving. And just to put it in perspective, that's since Donald Trump's first term. So for casual observers, it might not seem like a big deal, but for those of us who have been watching women's representation closely over the years and decades, it's been really frustrating. After that high watermark of 1992 that a lot of us remember, it's just been glacial progress for women. 2 steps back, 1 forward. Why can't we catch up? So in fact, we have now, and that's why California is the only top 10 global economy to be so close to parity. It's hard to get there.
What role did Close the Gap play to get some of these representatives elected?
Yeah, in short, we've recruited a lot of talented women to run, and a lot of them have won. Close the Gap has really been a targeted intervention in that kind of slow, snail's pace progress I talked about, to get women onto an even playing field and jump forward. So what we've done is look ahead to open seats, and that really is a big part of the story too. Way back in 2012, California voters passed term limit reform, and that made it possible for us to know years in advance when a seat would be open. And those seats are easier for newcomers to run for because they don't have to contend with an incumbent. So one by one, we've targeted those seats, and organizations like us and many of our allies have been ready with stellar women in the right places at the right time.
Now, does Close the Gap work to make sure that women on both parties are getting these seats?
We work with progressive women, and the way we define that is that they are champions for reproductive health, for public education, and to fight against poverty. So that means different things in different parts of the state, but holding an importance on those values is the screen that we bet with.
And by and large, for your organization, does that mean Republican or Democratic women more often than not?
So far, it has only been Democratic women, but I would love to meet a Republican woman who shares those values.
So there are some main issues going to be decided on in this next legislative session. What are they?
Yeah, well, some high stakes battles are coming in Trump's second term for sure. I think you will see women look for bipartisan ways to cooperate and move the ball forward on progress, on vulnerable communities, but also on economic issues. Research and experience have really shown that women in leadership are effective and solution oriented in times of upheaval. We saw that globally during the COVID-19 pandemic. So I think you'll see a prioritization on issues like childcare, pregnancy leave, protection of those who could be in the path of, say, wildfires or any other issue area that could be impacted by a threat to federal funding.
All right, Susannah Delano, Executive Director of Close the Gap California. If people want more information on what you're doing, where do they go?
Please come to our website, closethegapca.org, and we have a long history of involving volunteers. It's a very grassroots organization, and we'd love to meet you.
All right, an organization admitting to trying to get more progressive women into seats here in California. Susannah, thanks. Marcella.
Thank you.